You want to leave now? Are you kidding me? You staying? Hey guys, I'm Bella, the Maker Mama Boss Lady behind Bella's Custom Crochets, and this is episode, I think 26, it might be 25, 20-something. It's the first podcast of 2021. Welcome. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time joining me, thank you so much for checking out my little spot on the internet. I appreciate you, and you are very welcome to be here. And if you've come back, thank you. I'm a little rusty, because I think the last one we did was like 2 weeks or so before Christmas. Week, something like that. So it's been about a month. Yeah, I'm going to try and pretend that I remember how to do this. And I have a lot today, so it might be a long one. I'm going to try and be to the point, but we know how that goes. Everything that you need to know about me you can find down below, linked underneath this video. There's going to be a link to my blog with all the show notes as far as everything I talk about, patterns, people, yarns, the like. Anything I can link, I will link. And all links to my social media and whatnot are also listed down below the video. So without further ado and too much fooling around, I'm going to let you know now that there's a cat in the room. Normally the cat's outside the room scratching at the door. She zoomed herself in here. If you hear any noises or there's any sudden interruptions, it's because I have to remove her. She's over there snorting in the drawer that has catnip in it. Lovely. Okay, so I don't think I have any admin. Like I said, it's been a while. Anything I need to tell you is going to be in the design section. So, design section. Since I last talked to you, since I have last talked to you, the new pullover has released, which was one that I had been working on since like July of 2020. So it released January 4th, and I am so excited to finally have that out there. It's something that I've been working on and thinking about for a very long time, and collaborating with the dyer Treasure Goddess Yarn on. And yeah, I just have been terrified to do a pullover sweater design with like sleeves and pull over your head and all that sizing and stuff, and I conquered one. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited about doing more garments this year. There's so much to learn, and every time I feel like I'm relearning everything, but thank you for your support on that one. If you haven't checked out the pattern drop video, there is a link in the show notes, and I'll try to link it up above for you as well. Everything you need to know about that pattern. I've been doing the pattern drop videos now for all of last year. The cat wants to leave now. Are you kidding me, bruh? I'm gonna go let the cat out. The cat's been removed. She'll probably be back at the door in a little bit. Go lay by the fire, cat. So yeah, I've been doing pattern drop videos since last year, and it seems like you guys really like those to kind of get a little more information before purchasing and figure out some color options and tester photos and all of that. So I do encourage you to check out pattern drop videos anytime I release a pattern. And speaking of pattern releases, this one's not out yet, but this is the Hope and a Future wrap. This one, when you're seeing this video, is going into testing. So testers have already been selected. Let me just put down my tea for a second and I will show you a little bit better, but it's basically a really big scarf. I'm calling it a wrap because that sounds fancier. But it's all in rainbow order. And the yarn is from Megs & Co. yarn. And she's doing kits, and they're beautiful, and it has tassels, and I love it. So I'm going to put it back on because it's not as warm as in the room with the fire. The rest of the house feels so freezing when we're having a fire. So I'm just shivering away in here while my husband's sitting fireside. It's totally my fault. I'm recording a podcast, but yeah. Oh, it looked better the first time. Now it's all kind of funky. It's still pretty. But I like trying to get as many. There's a bunch of colors. Trying to see as many colors in there as you can. But yeah, so this one is going into testing, and I'm hoping to have it out by the end of February. We'll see how everything goes. Last year there had been a ton of adjustments to tester deadlines just because of everything. So hopefully we can get it done within that allotted time period, and Meg will have kits when the pattern releases, and of course there'll be a pattern drop video, and all of the information you need will be in there. So stay tuned for the Hope and a Future wrap. I'm really looking forward to putting out that pattern drop video because I want to talk about all the inspiration that was behind this design. Can't see any of the gray. Where's the gray? Come on, gray. Where are you? There you go. You gotta arrange it just so you get all the colors. But yeah, more on this will be coming soon. And then the only other thing design-wise, it's preliminary, but I guess I'll show you. I'll put the tea down. We're gonna leave the tea now. I keep picking it up. Alright. My basket of fun over here is, of course, not organized well. But the next design that will be coming probably after this wrap, it's trying to think springtime things. This is a little out of my ordinary, but I needed to make one for my own purposes and thought this might be a fun one for you guys too. Right now it kind of looks ridiculous. So it's a big slanty triangle situation. Any guesses? And yeah, it's got the dandelion stitch, as I call it. It's my version of Star Daisy stitch, just a little bit of modification there. And I've used it in my dandelion dance shawl and dandelion dreams baby blanket. But yeah, so I'm just all about this stitch. I think it's so gorgeous, and obviously mustard yellow forever. So I'm going to be doing a wall hanging. So this is going to be the top of the wall hanging. I need to go venture into the woods and find a really beautiful stick. But it's been like in the 20s. So I don't really want to go venture into the woods, probably with my daughter, to really find a beautiful stick when it's 20 degrees out. So I'm hoping for maybe a day in the 40s where I can wander out. We live fairly close to a reservoir where there's lots of pine trees, and I feel like pine sticks are usually nice and not barky looking and dry. I don't know, they don't like rot as much when you pick them up off the ground in the woods. I tried to go in like our backyard and find some, and they were all mushy because we live on marsh. So I need to go find a dry, beautiful stick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this top part on the stick, and then there's going to be fringe, 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 fringe coming all the way down that slopey bit there. Yeah? You see? See what I'm going for? So my thought for this, besides just being a fun wall hanging and the fact that I love this stitch and will make all of the things in it always, my daughter has an excessive amount of hair bows. Yeah, it's excessive, but she does wear bows. Either two little like pigtails or like now it's looking like a whale tail because it splits down the middle. Like pineapple ponytail on top of her head. Her hair is not really long enough to do anything with, but is long enough to put in pigtails. And it's real wispy, so it's super cute. But yeah, we have a lot of bows. In case you're wondering, Turbans for Tots is our favorite on Etsy. But a lot of, mostly handmade, some that I've made, some that we've acquired from other people, a lot of bows. So I have one wall hanging that was an Addison James Knits free pattern. I think it's the Elysian wall hanging. I'll link it if I remember. So I have some bows on that, and then we have the rest of our bows up the neck of a giraffe. It's a long story, but we have a Melissa and Doug, like, it's got to be like close to 4 feet, 3.5 feet maybe. It's a large giraffe that we have acquired, and it doesn't serve much purpose in life other than to hold bows at this point. But it's getting out of hand, the amount of bows that are on that giraffe. His name's Bradford. So Bradford the giraffe needs a break from bows. So we're making a wall hanging, and I thought that would be a fun pattern to write up for you guys and put up on the blog in the spring. So stay tuned for that. I'm thinking dandelion, because I have the dandelion dance, the dandelion dreams blanket, dandelion dance shawl, and the only thing I could think of for wall hanging was dandelion dangle, which is just a terrible name, just awful. Dangle should not be in anything ever, other than Forrest Gump. And so I'm thinking maybe dandelion drops. Do you have any brilliant names that are in alliteration and go with dandelion? Drop them below, because I'd love to know. I am surrounded by so much stuff right now. I don't even know where to put this. I'm going to put it on top of my husband's recycling bin. Don't recycle my laundry. So that's the design section. Everything else is kind of knit heavy because I've been working so much on the pullover design and then getting this out to testers. There hasn't been a crochet design in the works yet besides a wall hanging. If I ever part my hair right, guys, you'll just be so proud of me. It's okay. I have another shawl situation going on back there, but I need to get this one into testing land. and on its feet before I start that. So more stuff's coming soon. Design section. I attempted to fix my hair. I don't know if it's any better. And I'm sorry I touch it so much, but it's a weird in-between length where it just wants to fall over my shoulders and be in my face, and I need it to be long again, and then when it gets long I chop it all off, and it's a vicious cycle. But yeah. I think the best way to show you this next finished objects is I'm going to throw in a video clip. Pre-Christmas, I was talking about how we were doing dollhouse furniture for my daughter for Christmas, and how all the little dollhouse beds came with no blankets or anything. So she has a family of foxes, a family of owls, and a family of rabbits, and one lone raccoon that live in her dollhouses. And they're all either little woodsies or calico critters. And yeah, so we got them some little dollhouse furniture, and they needed some coziness. So I crocheted them some little rugs and some little blankets and some little towels and, you know, little accessories for a family of owls and whatnot that live in a house. So I will just put that in here, and you can take a little tour of the dollhouse situation. She really likes it, and I know she's going to enjoy it for quite a few years. Hopefully you can play with dollhouses for a long time, right? But right now she really likes taking the clothing. All the little animals came in clothing, and they are now all nudists. So they got no clothes on. She really likes the little toilet. She's really into potty training other beings. Not so much herself, but really into potty training other creatures. Really likes the toilet, likes the bathtub. So the bathroom fixtures are her favorite. And my mother-in-law got her some tiny little foods, and she just thinks that those are the greatest. But she does not get the dollhouse furniture like goes in the house and that you play in it with the house. So she takes whatever she's playing with out of the house and like puts it on the rug in front of the house. So she's like, come on, little animal, we're gonna sit in the potty in the front yard of the house. And then she puts it back in the house. And then like bathtub in the front yard. It's funny. But yeah, now they all have blankets and they're nice and cozy, and I feel better about it. So that was my Christmas crochet. It's barely a finished object, but a whole bunch of tiny little granny squares and blankets. It was fun basically making little swatches of some of my favorite stitches. Other finished object, these are nameless. And I have not sewn in the ends because there are a bajillion and two of them, and I am not feeling it at the moment. But I finished another pair of socks. I squeaked these out right before the end of 2020, so I made it to 11 pairs of socks for the year. More on all those accomplishments in my year in review video that I did last week, if you want to watch that. I wanted to do 12 pairs. I ended up with 11 pairs for me and one for my daughter, so I'm counting it. That's 12 pairs of socks. But these, I snuck in one last pair. I started these right after Christmas, I think, maybe. Close to it. Snuck them in right before the end of the year. And like I said, there are 4,000 ends in here because I did scrappy stuff, and it came out super gorgeous. This is not... I am sure there's probably a pattern like this out there somewhere. But to my knowledge, I made this up. I don't want to claim it as my own like design because it's not super complicated. I don't know if it's showing up at all. Can you even see the... I don't know if you can see, but there is... Can I hold it up there? See it any better if I duck back? It's not showing up super great on camera. But basically, I started out thinking I was going to do another pair of blueberry waffles, but then I kind of tweaked it a little bit. So it's like rib that alternates, because I really like ribbing in a sock. It fits me so much better. Vanilla socks are easy, but they get so slouchy, on my feet at least. So it's like ribbing alternated with some rows of just a knitting. You can see the yarns. So what I used, I put the yarns back, but this is Lane and Lotus in the colorway Harvest Moon. This was a scrap left over from a custom order. The main coppery, whatever color you'd call that, cidery color is salted caramel. The salted caramel color, you know, the caramel color, is also Lane and Lotus. The purple, you can see it better on the bottom. The purple is something by Mad Fuzzy. I don't remember what the color was called, but it's probably my favorite yarn that I've used in socks. It's a 100% East Frisian, and it has no nylon in it, and it's just amazing. She's a small dyer that does small batches of yarn. She gets the yarn milled locally and then dyes it. in Maine, and it's probably, I love this yarn, but I don't always love her colors, so I'm always like stalking her shop, but a lot of them I'm like, don't love the color, but I really like this base. So I'm stalking her constantly. But Mad Fuzzy is this purple, and then this other purpley variegated-y, it's got like cranberries and caramels and a little bit of green, is something that I got on a swap table. I have no idea what it is, but I really like it, and I've incorporated it into like 3 pairs of socks now. So these are really fun. I did a garter. I don't love these as much, but they feel nice and squishy on my foot. I don't think it looks as cute. A garter slip stitch heel. So instead of purling the back side of the rows, you just keep knitting. So a garter slip stitch heel, and then everything else is not too exciting. Yeah, if you know of any patterns that this does look like, let me know, because I'd like to make those too. But maybe I made this up, but I feel like some basic alternating ribbing is not my own design. But yeah, I ended up with, because I was changing colors every like 3 rows and then 2 rows, I think. And I didn't love the way that the weave-in ends as you go went on my scrappy socks, so I have to physically weave in all of these ends. They go all the way down because I changed colors so many times. Regrettable, but they're really cute. So yeah. So that was my last finished object, I think, of 2020. And I have started, oh, I gotta do my other, wait, do I have more finished objects? No, that's all the finished objects, so we can roll into whips. Just a little baby whip, but I did start another pair of socks. I would love to get to 12 pairs this year, but really, who cares? It just feels like a nice, proper number, I guess. But these are the baby beginnings of the, oh, those look fun on camera. The Bonfire socks. It's a new pattern by Potter and Bloom. It's free on her blog. I did tweak the stitch count a little bit, but super easy to do, and she has some instructions in there. The yarn that I am using is just some stuff I had in stash. Patton's Croy FX is this, it's not really self-striping, it's more of like a color marling situation. It's stripes, but I don't know if there's like a repeatable pattern in it, and I don't really care if they end up matchy-matchy, because it doesn't bother me at all. It's a sock. And I can get away, these are 50 gram, I hope these are 50 gram. Are you 50 gram? Yeah, 50 gram skeins. I can get away with a pair of fairly, like the ones I just showed you were not as long as I would normally do the leg, but I can do 50 grams if I do a contrast. And yeah, so if you got 2 balls of these, I'm sure you could match this up and make it all matchy-matchy. I'm not gonna. So they're not going to be shorties, they're not going to be long socks, they're going to be something in between. Patton's Croy FX in the colorway Clover Colors. Tag's a little worded. That doesn't matter. Clover Colors. And then the heels, toes, cuffs are going to be in Patton's Croy also in their flax colorway, which is just this gray, which I've used a ton in lots of socks, and I really like Patton's Croy as far as a commercially made sock yarn. You can usually get it, I know Joanne carries it, I know Michaels, I don't know if Michaels carries it, I think Michaels carries it. Hobby Lobby definitely carries it, and they all carry different colors, so it's kind of like a, gotta catch them all. Gotta catch all those sock yarns. But this one I think, that's from Joanne? And the gray's from Hobby Lobby? Maybe? And they've been in my stash for a little bit. But the only thing about Patton's Croy is it's a sock yarn technically, but it's a little closer to sport weight. So I went down in my stitch count to 56 stitches and up to a size 1.5 needle. And you really can't see the sock yet, but it's basically, it's a free pattern, so I don't mind telling you too much. But yeah, it's a bunch of rows of stockinette and then you throw in a knit purl row, pretty much. And it's coming up really kind of subtle but interesting in this FX yarn. So that's my next pair of socks. Just nice to have an on-the-go project. The other thing I have been working on constantly because, 2021 has already proven itself to be, I'm a 2020 junior, 2020 2.0, I don't know. It's not been so fun so far. So trying to be positive and have some faith, but I've definitely had my breakdown moments in the last, it's only been like a week. I think, I never said, but I think today is the 12th. So we're about 2 weeks into 2021 at this point. But I have been working on a sweater that I've been talking about for a long time. I've had the yarn since last Christmas or so, last January, something like that. And I have been, I'm dropping things, sorry. I have been wanting to make this and I just haven't committed to it, but I had all the yarn, and it was haunting me. So I cast on, and in a week, knit the entire body of the Le Pouf sweater by the dyer behind Hedgehog Fibers. It's one of her designs. And I believe this one's free. There's a cardigan version as well. I don't know if that one's free, but this one is free on both her website and Ravelry. It's a good pattern. It's well written, but it's a little vague on the color fading or the color marling, which I guess is typical. I haven't done another marled sweater pattern, but I know I've done like a faded sweater, and it's kind of always like fade at your own risk, like make up your own numbers basically. So it was written to be a 5-color pattern. It is fingering weight. It is held double. I'll tell you about the yarns in a moment. But it's meant to be a 5-colored pattern, and her version is cropped, or maybe just like, probably just like the top of her pants, not like cropped, but high-waisted pants, cropped. And then it's got sleeves that are fairly tight up until your elbow, and then they poof out. Les Pouf. And I had 6 colors of yarn, and in my mind that was like so much to make a sweater, and I would have like so much left over that I would make matching socks. But I forgot I was holding it double. In my mind it was just a fingering weight pattern, and I was fading and not holding 2 strands together in marling. So I thought I was going to have yarn galore and there would be no yarn chicken and it would be great. And there's like some guidelines in the pattern as far as percentages of the yarn to use up, but she only really specifies, I think, for its size small. And I tweaked stuff, obviously. I sort of gauged, obviously. And I'm happy with the fit. This is the size medium. I think it's a 41-inch bust. But I could have gotten away with the small, which would probably have been better for my yarn consumption. So I did the body. I didn't do the ribbing on the bottom. Right now it hits at just about the top of my pants. I lightly blocked the body. It is superwash, so I know I can block it a little more aggressively because I don't love cropped things and I don't own high-waisted pants, and going shopping now is like a chore because we're not allowed to try on things. So I don't really want to go out and buy a whole bunch of high-waisted pants, bring them home, try them on, bring them back. No, thank you. So I'm just going to stick with my long, oversized things. I do like the positive ease on this, but it's meant to be tighter. And I definitely could have fit into the small. I cast on the small for the neck and the shoulders, and then I increased up to the size medium for the armhole and sleeve. And yeah, again, I'm going to tell you about the yarns in a second. I love how it's coming together. It does fit. I wish it was longer, but now I'm panicking that I don't have enough yarn to make the sleeves match. Or to make the sleeves. Because her version is cropped, like I said. And she said you should probably use about 50% of each ball for the body and then save 50% for the sleeves. And in my mind, because I had extra colors, I could use more in the body. But I think her specifications were for the size small. I don't know. Something went awry. Maybe it's my gauge. I haven't double checked again, but it needs more yarn. So, also what I didn't realize in the pattern, it looks like maybe she, at least in her sample photo, it looks like she continued this color A, or color 1 or whatever it is in the pattern, for much longer. So there's like a large section of like cream, and it looks like her sleeves didn't even, like, she did the whole raglan increase in this like main color and then did the rest, which I think would have helped with my yarn usage again, because I started using up these colors sooner. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but I'm trying to talk myself through it because the only solution is to rip back and make the size small. And by rip back, I mean rip back the entire sweater that I stress knit in 1 week. So I could do it again fairly fast. It's all stockinette, which is really nice right now. But I don't want to rip it all back. And it's all like marled together, so it's going to be a whole bunch of weird balls of things held double and meh. So I got this one sleeve done. Not done. I'm having a hard time gauging how long it's supposed to be. Maybe I'm missing it, but I didn't see sleeve measurements in the pattern. It's kind of just like make it until it fits. But I've never made something poofy before. So I'm going to block this section, see how far this goes down, and then continue with my poofing. But I think the poof would need to be substantially longer than your arm, because then when you put the ribbing in, it's supposed to like kind of gather and poof out, right? So you need that extra fabric for the poof part? Maybe? I've looked at some notes on Ravelry, guys. I'm winging it. I remade the sleeve once already. I decreased it some. I may have to go back, rip it out, and decrease it some more because it's not tight on me right now. And it's not been blocked yet. So I feel like I probably could win some more yarn for myself if I made the sleeves a couple stitches smaller. It's getting desperate times. So I've started on the second sleeve, just trying to see. I have, I think, 4 more rows in this double orange part and then the orange and red. And this is what I have left of the orange. I think I have 15 grams of the red. And I weighed stuff, and I think another problem that I am running into with this one, and please don't think this is any reflection on the pattern, it's mostly a reflection on myself and lack of experience in doing this. I do much better with patterns where they're like, do this for either how many inches or how many rows. This one's just like, marl and fade the things. That's risky business. But I have a scale and I was weighing stuff, but I've been using a postal scale. And I don't think that's as precise on small increments, like tiny little nuggets, as a kitchen or jewelry scale would be. So I've looked at a bunch on Amazon, and I'm just overwhelmed with options. If you have any that you love, I think I've asked this before, and then I never actually bought one. But if you have any that you love, let me know. Because I'm using one that my husband had when he did eBay, and it's accurate, but it does better with larger weight things. As you get smaller, it's like everything is 5 grams. And I'm like, those are 2 different size things. Don't tell me they're both 5 grams. And then it does. So for both designing and stuff like this, I should get a more accurate one. Anyway, I need to see if I can make my sleeves, even if they're off by a couple rows, I don't even so much mind. But I need to like end up with 2 similar looking sleeves. Not exact, they could be sisters, not twins. But they need to be related. The other option is to get another skein of yarn of something else and have that marled into the sleeves, but not the body. I don't know. It's stressing me out. So I stress knit the whole thing, and now I'm kind of just stressing it even faster to see if I can beat the yarn chicken with my fast knitting, because that's how that works. Really love this. Can't wait to have it. Might be frogging it back to the beginning because that's what I do, guys. But it's been very enjoyable, and it's like a giant stockinette sock. So it's been really nice. I've been working on it during the day with my daughter. I don't have to think about anything. I just go round and round and round and occasionally count rows. And I've been working on it. We've been doing prayer meetings for our church over Zoom just throughout January, and I've been doing prayer meetings and working on this sweater. One of the pastors messaged me like privately through the Zoom, and he was like, "Are you praying and knitting?" Yes I am. I can knit with my eyes shut, guys. So it's been fun. I really love it. It's really beautiful. It's amazing how the colors come together. I still haven't shown you the yarn. I'm going to show you now. This is the wrong bag. That's the socks. I'm sorry, that got a little ranty. I'm a little distraught about it. Could you tell? So this is color 1. This is Lane and Lotus Meteor Shower. So I have tons of this left. I should have kept going with this on the raglan part, the top part. And I probably would have been in much better shape. I could have gotten a whole bunch more rows out of this. I don't want to throw it in somewhere else now because it will break up that color sequence, and I can't do anything to fix it without going all the way back to the beginning. Lane and Lotus Meteor Shower. I have this other random skein of Malabrigo that's a single ply that I probably shouldn't put in, but I will if I get desperate. I also have a couple minis that might be making guest appearances in the sleeves because it's getting weird, guys. I don't want to rip back to the beginning. Color 2 is... Nope, that's not color 2. Color 2 is this little yellow nugget. It's one of these. I think it's In My Heyday. The yellow, orange, red, and purple were a kit from Whip Yarn and on Etsy. She seems to only sell kits, which is cool, but I was like, oh, I can just go on and buy another skein of whatever I run out of, and she only sells them in kits, it seems. Like fade kits or like shawl kits. Doesn't seem to have any individual skeins. I don't know if that's how she always does things, but yeah, Whip Yarns on Etsy. Really pretty. I wish she'd sell individual. She does have 50-gram skeins, so worst case I could go do that, but it's getting pricey, y'all. Pumpkin Spice is the orange, also by Whip Yarn. Set Ablaze is the red. And then the purple, the dark purple is Bordeaux by Silver Key Stitches, who is a Connecticut local. Lane and Lotus is also a Connecticut local. And Whip Yarns is not local. But yeah, altogether, it's a really gorgeous color combo. You've seen the sweater, so I don't need to hold up the yarns to you. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how it's come together. I just wish I had 2 sleeves. So that is the whip section. It might be a whip next time too, because I might start again. For the acquiring section, it was Christmas and New Year, and I've acquired many things. So I'm going to try to do a good job of linking stuff down below to stuff that you can get if you are interested. But I have a lot of stuff to share with you, either gifts or stuff that I thought you might be interested in. So I guess we'll do Christmas first. I have a big bag of Christmas goodies. It's to the point now where people either ask me what I want crochet and knit related, or they just buy it for me because this is just what everyone assumes that is my life now. And I love it. So this is from a friend Emily of A Rambling Yarn, and she is she's A Rambling Yarn. I'm sorry, I was thinking of something else. Sorry, A Rambling Yarn is her podcast, and she is EML Fiber Arts on Instagram. That's right. She got me this. This is by, what is your name, sir? Thomas Ascot, who is just a quirky fellow. And this is a creature. This is a real creature. Well, I mean, this is a drawing of a creature, but I had seen this floating around the internet, and I had assumed it was like some mythological thing or something from like, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons or something. Something that I didn't know. Harry Potter, I don't know, something that I'm not into. As it turns out, this is a real thing. This is called, to the best of my pronunciation, an axolotl. And it's like a Mexican salamander fish. And he's adorable. Go Google axolotl. He's great. Now my husband is yelling at the cat because she's causing problems out there. So this is an axolotl. I'm trying to get it without the glare. And he's knitting. And she said the caption on Instagram for when he was selling this was, I knit a lotl. So he's a knit a lotl. And I can wait to get this framed. We're redoing. This office was my office and has become my husband's office because we gutted his office in the room next door. And that will eventually be my daughter's office. So yes, this will be up on the wall eventually. So this is my axolotl. Super cute. Go fall down a hole of axolotls because they're very adorable and very strange. This is his little, he just does a bunch of big-eyed, cutesy things. The old Thomas Ascot. So that was adorable. That was from M. What else did I get? The big old yellow bag is from my mama. and alpaca. I believe it's from Marshall's. I don't know if you can still get one. It's nothing specially for makers, but it's a big old bag that I can either use as a purse or for putting sweaters in. It's got a little inside compartment that comes out and has a separate strap, which is like a whole separate project bag. Now everything that was in there fell to the bottom. I don't know if there's a brand, Metro Muse. I don't know anything about Metro Muse. But it is vegan, which I appreciate. So yeah, it's from Marshall's, I think. But she got that for me. And then they also got me this, also not necessarily for knitting or crocheting, but makes a cute project bag. It's more of a toiletry bag. It's got this big old honkin' zipper on it, which I really like. And it's from Osprey, London. And you can discover more online at Osprey, London. They went on a trip to Boston and came back with lots of Christmas goodies for everyone. So I think this came from there. It's this really thick canvas. So this will make a really good sock project bag as long as I don't zip the yarn into the honkin' zipper. But I love this color. I haven't used these yet because I've had them sitting in the you need to film a podcast pile before you forget about these things, Bella. So now I can actually put them to use. Everything is now sitting in my husband's recycling bin. My brother got me these. These are the Chow, I think they're called the mini twists, maybe. They're the blue cord ones. And I had requested them because I despise magic loop with all of my heart and soul, and I also don't love DPN. So sleeves have always been a pain. I can attest that they work great for sleeves. They don't work great for keeping track of whether or not you're going to play yarn chicken, but they're great for sleeves. And yeah, I did this one sleeve all since last night, I think. I restarted it a couple times. I think this was all last night, and then the other one I started earlier today. So, they're flying. Everything feels fast now when you're using not fingering weight yarn by itself. But it's a little, this case is kind of iffy, because they all want to jump out of here. But it comes in this little blue zip pouch. It has the blue cords, which are slightly more rigid than the red lace cords. I haven't tried it out. I meant to before recording, but I don't know if they're interchangeable with the red lace. I would imagine that they're not because they are a different thing, but maybe because they're the same brand. I'm not sure. But basically it comes with, I think these are 5-inch. No, these aren't 5-inch. What are you? 4-inch. 4-inch tips and back in the right spot here. Those are 4s. 4-inch tips, and then what size are you? No, I lied. Those aren't 4 inches either. Bella, do you know how to measure things? Those are smaller. That was a US 4. So it comes with tiny tips and bigger tips. I don't know how long you actually are. Itty bitty. What's that, about 2.5 inches? 1.5, maybe? Something like that. So they're great for sleeves. I'm not really sure what else you could do with them, because they come US size 4, 3.5 millimeter up to US size 8, 5 millimeter. And the cords are 5 inches, 6 inches, and 8 inches. So I think altogether it puts me up to like a 14-inch cord with the longest tip and the 8-inch, so they're going to be, I don't know, something. But it was about 14 inches, I think, around, which is perfect for doing a sleeve for me. It might not be, it might be 12 inches, I might be lying, I don't know. But they're really good for sleeves. I will try and put accurate information in the show notes, because I forgot to do that. But it comes with the same little stitch markers and key and whatnot, and a itty bitty ruler. Oh, I could have just measured the tips on this itty bitty ruler, but I'll put it in the show notes. I do want to try them out, see if they're interchangeable. I could do that, but I don't have my red lace ones with me at the moment. But these, super cute. Clips in a project bag. I wish it fit inside of the other red lace ones, because if I'm doing a sweater, it'd be nice to have them together. At some point, I need to get a needle binder to just put them all in so that they're all in the same place. But I like these. I'm a fan of the Chiaogu brand. And the cord is a little stiffer, but you're doing sleeves, so it's not like you're going to magic loop with it. It's made to be a little more rigid. So I really like these, and they have a similar set in smaller sizes that I think is US size 0 or 00 maybe through 3. So if you wanted to do socks, something tiny, there's a tiny version too. So I'm very pleased with those. Thank you, Antonio. And then I had requested from my husband, because there was a sale, I think Black Friday, and he is not one for shopping. So if you want something, you send him a link. But I had requested, because I had this one skein from Cup of Tea Yarn, who is another local dyer. She dyes naturally, natural dyer. So this color is dyed with, what is it? Black Eyed Susans. Rudbeckia? I come from a family of gardeners and they're all ashamed of me. Cup of Tea Yarns. I had this one skein that I picked up at an event and I really liked the color and I saw that she had it on sale. It's a really squishy base. She sells it as sock yarn, but it's definitely sport weight. And really like it. Really like the color. And I should have known better because it's naturally dyed and it's indie dyed. So trying to match a colorway months later was foolishness. But I saw it was on sale and I was like, ooh, let's make it a sweater quantity. So I had my husband order 3 more, which are also gorgeous, but are not the same color. They're the same color as each other, but they're not the same color as that one. So these are more of a khaki green. And this one's way darker. And she has it listed as the same colorway, which I have mixed feelings on. It is the same dye process, but natural dyeing never comes out the same. And I know that. And that's not even really any fault on her. That's the fault on me. But yeah, so they don't match. And because it's naturally dyed, I don't even know if she has more. I don't think she has more. I went and looked in the shop. She doesn't have more of this. And yeah. So I need to come up with the plan. So if I had like 2 and 2, I could alternate skeins, but like 3 and 1, this might have to be like cuff and I have to do like a contrast sleeve bit or something. I don't know. My original plan, I was looking at, I think it's called the Pink Fizz. Something by Andrea Mowry. It's newer. It came out in December, I think. It's something that's fingering weight held with lace weight for roughly a sport or DK weight, I believe. Or maybe it's 2 lace weights or something. I don't know. It's something held with mohair and I do not care for that. But it would roughly give me a sport weight gauge. So I thought maybe this, but that was before I ended up with this weird color differentiation. It's a really basic shaped, like boxy pullover, because, you know, boxy pullovers are my life. And then it has like a panel of lace and maybe cables. A little overwhelmed by it. But I think I could do it if I really tried. But again, I don't know what to do with this color situation. Also, I was thinking about doing the I think it's Mayma cardigan by Megan Nodecker, who is, what is your podcast? Pip and Pin. I always look off to the side when I'm thinking, guys. I'm sorry. I can't look into my own eyes and think, apparently. Mayma cardigan, which is a brioche stitch, and I've never done brioche before. Either way, I think I have enough yardage, but I don't know. It's 393 yards each. We're making something. I don't know what we're doing with this odd green, but we're making something. Yarn Troubles, guys. Yarn Troubles. That's the name of this podcast. Yarn Troubles. You go sit over there. You little bits, don't get lost. I need every single last one of you to make that sweater. So that is the Christmas haul. Thank you, people who love me. Oh, and also my mother-in-law. Oh, no, there's more. My mother-in-law got me a gift card to Fiber for the People and Lane and Lotus, as per my request. She gets frustrated with the gift card request, but I was like, there's no way you're going to make that shop update. No way. I can't even make that shop update. So, Fiber for the People gift card is great. And then, the bestest thing I've ever owned, my daughter, with supervision, painted this yarn bowl. I was the supervisor. It's from a local pottery studio called the Firestone, and usually you go there and paint it and then they fire it for you, but they're doing take-home kits as well, given the world circumstances. So we picked some colors and brought them home. I was so excited. They don't normally have yarn bowls, but they got them in for like the Christmas season because they knew people might like them as gifts. And yeah, my daughter loves painting and she just went wild. I don't know if you can see, it has a speckle glaze. The red is speckled. This, you can probably see that, speckled. And yeah, it's magnificent. Just magnificent. And it kind of has some texture to it because you're supposed to do, I think, 3 layers of glaze. Maybe 4. And she's like a 15 layer glaze kind of gal. So it's got like some texture. And I just love it. And she did like little finger polka dots on the inside. So good. It's a really big yarn bowl too. Like, it's oversized compared to the one that I have. And I want to use it, but also I don't want to use it during her waking hours because she's going to touch it and break it and ruin the most beautiful thing she ever gave me. So it's sitting safely up here, hopefully out of her reach for now. But I love it. I love it so much. And I love that she's crafty. I would love her absolutely no matter what, but I love that she's crafty. So that concludes the Christmas haul. Other haul related things are, I didn't share it in my 2020 year in review / 2021 goals video because I accomplished this thing or decided I was doing this for the year after I recorded that. So after recording, I think that video went out on the, I don't know, but the 6th I started, I had done like a free like preview class thing with Pam Grice, the Crochetpreneur. She does the Crochet Business Academy, which I had looked at before, and I know people who have done it and are actively involved in it and have wonderful things to say about it, and I really like Pam, and I was just hemming and hawing because it's a bit of money. It's a chunk of money. It's an investment. But I had done this free class, and then there was like a countdown of if you enroll right now, you get these bonuses and discounts, and I was like, you know what? Well, let's invest in my business and start taking this seriously. So I enrolled in Crochet Business Academy. It's a 12-month program with not only mentoring from Pam, there's like a Facebook group and like work session groups, kind of like Zoom meeting type things, rooms on Facebook, and the bazillion different resources. There's live chats. I have to schedule a one-on-one meeting with Pam over Zoom to discuss business goals and what I can do to improve. Basically, it's all the help that I need. And a place I can ask questions to, and just a beautiful community of people who actually know what they're talking about and are doing it. So if you're not familiar, I encourage you to go check that out. I will eventually be doing a full review video probably midway through the year, and then once I finish it all. But I just wanted to put that out there so that you guys know that I'm doing it, to keep me accountable and to give you the option to check it out as well. But I wanted to share some things that I got for it. One of the things that came with my purchase of the course, masterclass, community, whatever we might call it, there's a planner. There's actually a couple different planners. So this is, I printed it up at Staples. She had a productivity planner, a blogger planner, a designer planner, and a sales tracker thing. So I printed them all up together. It came out to like 170 pages. It's hefty. But I love me a planner and a workbook. Oh, I can't speak. A workbook and homework in general and classes. And yeah, I'm just a learny type. I'm not sure if I can find, if she sells this without the course, I will link that in the show notes. But either way, check out Pam Grice, Crochetpreneur. It's fantastic. So I printed this up at Staples, and I need to just fill in all of these things. And it's just beautiful and amazing. And I've got my little Beginnings January thing going here. I have a color coding system because Roy G. Biv forever. And yeah, I'm just hoping this gives me some measurable growth. Watching back my review of 2020, I feel like a lot of it is just like numbers, and I'm basing it on like, oh, I had this many followers and I grew that many, and whoop-de-doo, that's great. But I want to focus more on the community and the people themselves, and building not just numbers or income, but building a sense of community, especially with the world we got going right now. We need this in our community. So I'm really grateful to be part of this business academy community of people that's going to help me build a community of people where we can just flock together and love yarn and stuff. And there's a lot of times where I have a question and I ask JoJo because, you know, he's a crochet expert. He's really supportive, but he doesn't own a business and he's not a crochet designer. So it's really nice to have that group and I'm really excited about that. So yeah. Planner. Then I got a bunch of stuff to go with my planner. Got some tabs. I thought I printed it with tabs at Staples. And then I called them and they were like, no, you didn't print it with tabs. And I was like, are you sure? Because I thought I printed tabs. And they're like, well, we didn't charge you for tabs. And I'm like, are you sure? I don't know. So I got some tabs off Amazon. They're Avery, sticky, right on both sides. And they're not my colors, but they kind of match the planner, which I didn't have any say over the colors. So I need to make my little blogger design sales, break the planner down into the little sections, tabs, and there's 24 tabs, so I can tab, you know, all the things. Then I also got, this is a combo for a Bible study that I'm doing and my own Bible stuff, as well as for this planner, but I got some pens from Mr. Pen. I've opened the pens. The highlighters are still sort of in the case. It comes with a mustache sticker. These are marketed as Bible Safe highlighters, but they are basically bleed-free, acid-free gel highlighters. They're really cool. They have like a texture of almost like waxy, like maybe like a lipstick or something. So they're not like spongy in ink. They're almost like a, I don't know, like a pastel. And they twist up like a lipstick. They're kind of lipsticky. But they don't bleed through, which is a fantastic. I don't know how much highlighting I'm going to do in my planner, but my notes for the course, I wanted to have some highlighters. And then for my journaling Bible, I also thought it would be cool to have some highlighters that don't bleed. I don't know why it took me this long to get some. So I got those, and then I got pens as well that I'm not as much thrilled with. These are non-bleed. They're going to work great for the planner. They came in this pack that I've now opened. But I'll link these below. I think the highlighters were maybe like $11, and the pens were something similar, not a lot. And it came in, obviously, the highlighters. I think there was like 3 of each color, 2 of some colors. They have smaller packs with just single, like, you know, like 6 or something in it, but I got the bigger pack because I figured can't have enough fun highlighters. So I wanted to show you as well just how they work. This is my journaling Bible. This is by, who are you by? I don't have the cover sleeve. Does it say who you by? I think if you just look up journaling Bible, Crossway is the publishing company, I believe. But, oh yes, Crossway. It's a regular Bible, but then it has these margins on the side that you can write in, doodle in, which I really like. And I was hoping the pens would work well for this because it said they were bleed-free Bible pens, but it seems like the pens go through the page. So the highlighters do not. They are awesome, and I love them. They don't smudge, they don't bleed. Like, that's the back side of the page. You can't see it at all, but the pen, you can. And they're bleed-free Bible pens, so I'm kind of distraught that you can see them through. So I'll probably stick to doing pencil in the margins and highlighting. But yeah, Psalm 91. It's where it's at, people. So I got those to go along with the planner, as well as a Bible study that I'm going to be doing. And yeah, I just thought I'd share them with you in case you're interested in stuff for your own planners. Definitely 10 out of 10 recommend the highlighters. The pens, they're not, I don't know what kind of gel they are, because they're not supposed to bleed, so they don't, I want them to flow like a, what are the ones that I like? The clicky black ones with the rubber grip. Nice and really flowy ink. They're not like that. They're kind of a little more scratchy ink, and apparently they bleed through Bibles, even though they're Bible pens. Maybe it's just my Bible. But they're great in the planner because I printed it on cardstock. Yeah. So that, I think, is everything I wanted to share with you. I'm sorry that one turned out a little bit long, guys. But like I said, it was a lot of things. Let me check the notes. Did I tell you everything? I believe that I did. So thank you for listening to all that I have to say and for being here and sticking out 2020 with me. And I'm looking forward to this year and just really coming together and talking about the yarny things. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know what you got for Christmas. Let me know what you're doing for planners. Let me know if you've done the Crochet Business Academy. If you're in it now, I'd love to talk. And just basically anything else you're up to. If you have any great ideas for my sweater situation, both of my sweater situations, my yarn that doesn't match and my yarn that there's not enough of. Comment below, guys. I love chatting with you. I do read all the comments and I try to respond quite promptly. So thank you for being here, and I will catch you in episode 20, whatever is next. See you next time, guys. Thanks. Bye.